Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really going to try and cut through the noise using a great stack of sources from the Economist's business section.
That's the plan. We want to uncover those fundamental shifts, connect the dots that maybe aren't immediately obvious in the global economy.
Exactly. We're looking at how things like AI empowering individuals relates to, say, big corporations navigating trade wars.
And even how our daily digital habits, like online reviews, reflect these bigger shifts in trust and power. It's all interconnected.
Right, so if you want that shortcut to being genuinely well-informed on some really profound changes happening right now, you're in the right place. Let's unpack it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so first up, this really fascinating trend, the solopreneur. The sources are showing how AI, artificial intelligence, is letting just one person, or maybe a tiny team,
Penny teams, yeah.
build companies that can actually stand up against much bigger firms.
Right.
I mean, how is AI really pulling that off?
It's quite revolutionary, isn't it? AI tools they're democratizing entrepreneurship massively. Take the example they mentioned, Miss William.
Right, autos.
Yes, Autos, a one-person software company. It does things like automated gender-neutral emails, even AI grief support. AI basically became her entire support system.
Wow.
Yeah, handled tasks a co-founder might do, sales, marketing, the works.
So it's like having that perfect employee, but without the salary cost.
Yeah.
The sources mentioned this connection to Ronald Coase's paper from 1937.
Oh, the transaction costs idea, yeah.
Exactly. Coase argued companies exist to reduce those costs, right? The friction of doing business. Is AI just like dissolving those costs now?
That's a great way to put it. It's dissolving those costs, making it incredibly efficient for one person to do what used to need a whole structure.
And the charts back this up.
They do. The all-by-myself chart, it shows the time it takes for U.S. startups to go from employee 1 to employee 50 is shrinking, especially with AI. And one study even found, get this, two-person teams with AI sometimes outperform solo founders and larger teams.
That's amazing. So it's not just about starting easier. It's about potentially being more effective with fewer people. It changes the whole definition of a company, doesn't it?
Fundamentally, less need for huge capital, big teams. It really democratizes wealth creation.
So what does that mean for, the future of work itself?
Well, it raises big questions. If one person plus AI can do the work of 50, that frees up a lot of human potential for maybe higher level stuff, more creative work.
Interesting point.
Mhm.
Okay, so while individuals are using AI to sort of scale themselves up, how are the big players, the established giants, dealing with all this global change?
Right, let's zoom out.
Let's look at trade, specifically tariffs, maybe through the lens of Toyota. The sources suggest a kind of surprising situation for them.
It's a really good case study because you'd assume tariffs, which are meant to help domestic companies, would just hurt a global player like Toyota.
Yeah, you'd think so.
But it's more complex. While they sell fewer cars in China because of duties there, their U.S. sales are actually booming, especially the big stuff, SUVs, trucks, more profitable vehicles.
And the tariffs help them.
How? Because the tariffs allow them to charge higher prices in the U.S. market. So counterintuitively, tariffs are boosting their U.S. profits.
That is counterintuitive. So the policies might not be working as intended, at least not for everyone. I mean, the buckle-up chart shows how big their U.S. presence is.
Exactly. And don't forget, the weaker yen helps Japanese exporters overall, making cars cheaper for U.S. buyers. Mazda is seeing similar gains too, apparently. So it really highlights that protectionist measures, they can sometimes end up benefiting the very foreign companies they were, perhaps, designed to disadvantage, especially if those companies have significant production inside the country imposing the tariffs.
It just shows how tangled these global supply chains are. Policy has unintended consequences.
Profoundly unintended sometimes, and advantageous for some.
So next time you're looking at car prices or hearing about trade wars, it's worth remembering it's probably not as simple as it looks. Some firms are actually turning tariffs into profit.
Precisely. Good positioning matters.
Okay, let's pivot again. From trade mechanics to sustainability, climate tech, the sources are pointing to a real surge here, especially in the U.S. What's driving it?
Yeah, the scale is impressive. You see it clearly in places like California. Massive projects, new power lines in L.A. and Long Beach, huge solar farms, wind farms.
Right.
And the articles flag things like the bipartisan infrastructure law, the Inflation Reduction Act. Basically, big government policy and funding are key drivers.
So policy is laying the groundwork. What about the investment side? I saw the heating backup chart showed a bit of a dip last year.
It did dip in 2023, yeah. Equity funding for climate tech cooled off a bit, but the first half of this year, 2024, saw a notable pickup.
Okay, so confidence is returning.
Seems like it. Maybe as those policies start to bite and the opportunities become clearer. It raises that classic question, though. Policy versus innovation. Policy creates the space, the incentives, but it's companies developing really exciting stuff, like small modular nuclear reactors. X-energy is mentioned.
Right, SMRs, safer, quicker to build.
Supposedly, yeah, more flexible. But then you also have, different policy approaches. The sources mention the Trump administration's preference for an all-of-the-above energy strategy.
Including fossil fuels. Adds complexity.
Definitely adds another layer to the whole energy transition discussion.
So if you're watching for major growth areas, tech, economic growth, the green sector is definitely one to keep an eye on. It's this mix, isn't it? Policy, private money, and some really breakthrough innovation.
A powerful combination shaping the future.
Okay, shifting gears one more time. Something we all deal with constantly. Online reviews. Can we trust them? The sources had some, frankly, surprising things to say.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Our reliance on those simple star ratings, it's being challenged. A study, I think, from Vlerick Business School in Belgium found that people often pay more attention to the quality of the written review, the actual text, than just the star rating.
Really?
Yeah. And we trust reviews from friends and family way more than, say, expert reviewers on big platforms like TripAdvisor.
So those 5 stars might not mean much on their own. The sources mentioned verified purchase helps.
It helps with credibility, yeah. But here's the really wild part. A Boston University study found a negative correlation between a hotel's average star rating and its revenue.
Negative? How does that even work? I would have thought higher stars equals more money, full stop.
Me too.
Yeah.
But apparently not always. It suggests that overall average star rating can be a pretty poor predictor of actual popularity or success.
Wow.
It really makes you think about information overload, doesn't it? And critical thinking online. The articles mention things like the halo effect.
Where one opinion sways others.
Exactly. And of course, fake reviews are still a problem. Interestingly, it also notes younger people tend to actually read the detailed reviews more, rather than just glance at stars.
So maybe they're naturally more skeptical or discerning. It feels like the narrative, the story in the review and who told it, is becoming more important than the simple number.
Precisely. It's a shift back towards context and perceived authenticity, away from just the algorithm summary. Like those local restaurants, right? Maybe 3.5 stars online, but everyone knows it's great.
Yeah, exactly. So the takeaway for you listening is, next time you're booking something or buying something based on reviews, dig deeper. Look past the stars. Read the text. Consider who wrote it.
Trust your gut a bit more, maybe.
Right. Okay, finally, let's zoom right out. Geopolitics. How trade and tech are becoming, well, bargaining chips. The sources focus particularly on former President Trump's approach to China.
And the impact is immediate, isn't it? Especially in high tech. They mention NVIDIA's market cap dropping after the U.S. brought in those chip export controls.
Aimed at slowing China down, technologically.
Yeah, which raises that huge question. Can one country really stop another's progress in something as critical and fast-moving as semiconductors?
It feels like a very high-stakes game. Trump's America First strategy.
Yeah.
Trying to bring manufacturing back. The sources use this chili analogy for his negotiation style.
Yeah. Sometimes sweet, sometimes hot. Unpredictable, designed to keep China off balance, apply pressure.
But it's complicated. Like Intel's still selling some chips to Huawei despite sanctions?
It is messy. And the bigger picture here is China pushing hard for self-sufficiency in chips if they achieve that.
Game changer for supply chains.
Absolutely. Total reshape. Now, the sources do note criticism of Trump's policies, the volatility, the potential chaos, but you can't deny they force a major rethink about global economic ties and dependencies.
So watching these big power dynamics, it's crucial to remember how tightly technology, trade, and politics are intertwined now. Political decisions hit markets, businesses, and us as consumers, often really fast and sometimes in unexpected ways.
Definitely. The landscape is constantly shifting under our feet.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot of ground today. From AI creating these solopreneurs
to the weird economics of tariffs.
The boom in green tech investment.
What's really going on with online reviews?
And wrapping up with that high-stakes world of geopolitical trade and tech.
And the thread through it all, I think, is constant motion. Tech, innovation, policy shifts, changing consumer habits. It's all driving change. And understanding the nuances helps make sense of that bigger picture, helps anticipate what's next, maybe.
So what does this all mean for you? Well, it means staying informed is more than just knowing facts. It's about seeing the connections, right? The surprising ripples.
Exactly. And maybe a final thought to chew on.
Go for it.
As AI gets even better, making these solopreneurs even more capable, could the whole idea of a company, as we've known it for centuries, just become outdated? An anachronism? Could we see a future where the economy is largely driven by these hyper-efficient individuals, maybe collaborating through AI platforms instead of big corporations? And what kind of, I don't know, community or support structures would spring up around that?
That is a provocative thought, a world run by superpowered individuals. Keep that in mind as you do your own deep dive into the world around you. We'll see you next time.